In the late 15th century, Christopher Columbus set sail across the Atlantic Ocean. His goal was to find a new route to Asia. Instead, he discovered the Americas. This was not his original plan, but it changed history forever. Columbus's voyages opened the door for future Spanish conquests. Spain was eager to explore and conquer these new lands. The Spanish crown wanted to expand its empire. They saw great potential in the Americas. Gold, silver, and other valuable resources were tempting. Many Spanish explorers followed in Columbus's footsteps. They traveled to the New World with dreams of wealth and glory. The Spanish Empire began to grow rapidly. Explorers and soldiers came in large numbers. They wanted to claim land for Spain and spread Christianity.
Francisco Pizarro was a key figure in the fall of the Inca Empire. He was a Spanish conquistador. Pizarro arrived in Peru in the early 16th century. He had heard stories of a rich empire in the Andes. The Inca Empire was vast and powerful. It stretched across much of Western South America. Pizarro's first encounter with the Incas was in 1532. He met with the Inca ruler, Atahualpa. Pizarro and his men captured Atahualpa during a surprise attack. They held him for ransom. The Incas paid a large amount of gold and silver for his release. However, Pizarro did not keep his promise. He executed Atahualpa, which led to chaos. The Spanish had superior weapons and horses. These gave them an advantage over the Incas.
The Spanish Empire expanded rapidly after the fall of the Inca Empire. New colonies were established in Central and South America. Many explorers and conquistadors played a role in this expansion. Hernán Cortés was one such figure. He is known for his conquest of the Aztec Empire in Mexico. Cortés arrived in Mexico in 1519. He and his men marched to the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs were powerful, but they could not withstand the Spanish attack. Cortés captured the Aztec emperor, Montezuma. The Aztec Empire fell, and Mexico became a Spanish colony. This victory inspired other conquistadors to seek their fortunes. Other key figures include Pedro de Alvarado and Vasco Núñez de Balboa. Alvarado played a significant role in the conquest of Guatemala. Balboa is known for crossing the Isthmus of Panama.
Section 4. The Columbian Exchange: Plants, Animals and Diseases. The Columbian Exchange was a major event that followed the discovery of the Americas. It refers to the exchange of plants, animals and diseases between the Old World and the New World. This exchange had a profound impact on both continents.
Many new plants were introduced to Europe from the Americas. These included crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and maize. These crops became staple foods in Europe. They improved diets and boosted populations.
In return, Europeans brought crops like wheat, barley and grapes to the Americas. These crops changed agricultural practices in the New World.
Animals were also exchanged between the continents. Europeans introduced horses, cattle, and pigs to the Americas. These animals transformed transportation and farming. Native American societies were greatly affected.
Section 5. Cultural and social impacts of the exchange. The cultural and social impacts of the Columbian Exchange were immense. European colonization brought new customs, languages and religions to the Americas.
The Spanish introduced Christianity to the indigenous people. They built churches and converted many to the Catholic faith. This led to a blending of cultures.
European languages, particularly Spanish, became dominant in many regions. Spanish is still widely spoken in Central and South America today. Indigenous languages and cultures were often suppressed.
However, some customs and traditions have survived and blended with European influences. The introduction of new foods and cooking methods also changed diets. European settlers brought their culinary traditions. They introduced new ingredients and recipes. Indigenous people adopted some of these practices.
Section 6. Economic effects of Spanish colonization. Spanish colonization had significant economic effects on both the Old World and the New World. The extraction of resources like gold and silver brought immense wealth to Spain. This wealth fueled the Spanish economy. It financed further exploration and military campaigns. Spain became one of the most powerful nations in Europe. In the Americas, the Spanish established a colonial economy. They set up plantations and mines. Indigenous people and African slaves were used as labor. These economic activities generated profits for the Spanish crown. However, they also led to the exploitation and suffering of many people. Trade routes were established between the Americas and Europe. Goods like sugar, tobacco, and precious metals were exported to Europe. In return, European goods were imported to the colonies. Section 7. Conclusion: lasting impacts of the Spanish Empire. The expansion of the Spanish Empire had lasting impacts on the world. The conquest of the Americas brought immense wealth to Spain. It also led to significant cultural, social, and economic changes in the New World. The fall of powerful empires, like the Incas, marked a turning point in history. The Columbian Exchange reshaped the diets, economies, and societies of both the Old World and the New World. The introduction of new plants, animals, and diseases had profound effects. European colonization led to the spread of Christianity and European languages in the Americas. It also resulted in the exploitation and marginalization of indigenous people. The legacy of the Spanish Empire is still evident today. Spanish is the dominant language in many countries in Central and South America. The cultural blending that began during the colonial period continues to influence the region. The economic foundations laid during this time have had long-lasting effects. The history of the Spanish Empire's expansion is a story of conquest and change.